Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in again to this week's episode of the Bow Hike Podcast. This week I've got my buddy Scott Cooper. Scott hunted 3 states for elk this year, and I wanted to know how the hell he did it. So I had Scott come on, and he talked about how they got their tags, how they found out where to hunt, decided on their units, what resources he used, kind of the ups and downs of going somewhere and it not being so great and having to improvise and find somewhere else to go. So it's a really good podcast, something I think we can all relate to. We cover a few other things, Scott's gear he used. He covers some really good hunting stories that are pretty fun to listen to. And we have a good time. I think we would have went longer if we could, but we were on some time constraints. And Scott had a mean leg cramp at the end. So we didn't exactly continue on. By the way, guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram or on GoWild, I have an exclusive giveaway on Instagram and an exclusive giveaway on GoWild. So to find me on Instagram, it's RBC_hunts, and on GoWild, it's Royce Chambers. And there's only 2 more days left to get entered in that giveaway. It's going to be announced Friday evening sometime. So you got 2 days to get entered in that, so make sure you do so. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you enjoy this episode so you can get notified when new ones come out. All right, guys, I'm going to stop BSing now. Here he is, Scott Cooper. Okay, so I have oiled up, Speedo wearing, tall drink of water, Scott Man Cooper on the podcast today.
How's it going, guys?
If you're listening, if there are guys listening.
If guys and girls, whoever is listening.
It's okay. You don't have to, people don't get mad about that stuff, I don't think. Anyways.
It's 2018. You never know what people are going to be mad about.
That is true. That is true. You could identify as whatever you want, people. So I brought Scott on. Scott went on a crazy elk hunting trip this year for three states.
Yeah, we hit 3 states all in September. Started in Oregon and then went to Wyoming, came back to Oregon, and went to Idaho at the end of the month to kind of wrap up the season after Oregon season ended. It's pretty cool. We've never really done anything like that before. Always had dreams of going out of state, or I guess discussions about it. Aspirations, yeah. Nothing ever came to fruition. And last year, we had a terrible elk season in Oregon. I missed one bull at 40 yards. It was a spot and stock deal, and after that, we didn't hardly have any elk interaction really. So I said, screw it, and applied for or sent in my app for Wyoming this year. I had been putting in for some points there for a couple of years, and I got a buddy who was in the same boat with me who could get the time, and we did it. So
that's pretty sweet.
And then in the same year, my cousin, one of his coworkers had some info on Idaho, and he wanted to go there. And I didn't actually buy a tag for Idaho, but I just went and
I thought you hunted there.
I didn't actually hunt. I just went and called.
Oh, sweet.
And it was
called and took pictures.
Called and took pictures, yeah.
And
it was pretty cool. But I figured with buying one out of state tag for Wyoming, and then we were going to Idaho with 4 people. We were backpacking in fairly deep for 5 days. Figured four elk tags
would be enough.
It would be too many. You know, I think two was realistic, and it would have been. We had some ups and downs in Idaho, but. That's kind of how we got started on the out of state stuff.
We'll get into that a little. We'll get more into detail on that before we get too deep. Just a little background introduction on yourself.
I'm Scott Cooper. I live here in Roseburg. I work for the city here. I've kind of grown up hunting all my life. I grew up at the coast, North Bend, Coos Bay area. Been in the woods since I was in the car seat with my dad, fortunately enough. Kind of grew up around it and been an avid hunter since then. I've been bow hunting since I was probably 15.
Been vegetarian that long?
What's that?
You've been a vegetarian since you're 15?
No, I've been
people call bow hunters vegetarians.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. They think they don't kill anything. I think if you're a road bow hunter, then it's probably accurate.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a carnivore.
Yeah.
I killed a bull with my rifle when I was, I think 14, and I've been bow hunting ever since.
Sweet. Had some good success?
I've had some good success, all here in Oregon, mostly in the coastal region, Roosevelt elk, and yeah, we've had good years, we've had bad years, but I'd say more good than bad.
Work hard. Turns out to be good years normally.
Yeah, exactly. You put in the effort, you get off the road, and you can't kill elk from your pickup.
Yeah,
you can, I guess, if you're lucky as shit. And, and some people have that, and every now and then. I mean, I can't say that I haven't gotten into elk right off the road, because that does happen. You jump herds in the road and go in there and get after it. I've killed elk that way too.
Happened to us this year. Driving along, hunting hard all day, like hiking, hunting hard. Driving on pavement, jump a herd elk.
Yeah.
So then it like kicks off another 3-hour escapade. Then you're like, shit, don't have a backpack. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that with me, because you like park the pickup, bomb off the mountain. You're screwed.
Exactly.
You have nothing.
Then you're all of a sudden a mile in there with no water, no food. It's getting dark. You have your light. You have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I know.
Hiked back to the pickup a couple times this year, dark with an arrow knocked, like hoping that if something went to attack me, I could just like stab it with my arrow while it was still on my string. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
No, it's just it. You work hard, you put in the time and effort, you will be successful eventually. And
yeah. Stop blaming the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife for not having any animals for you to kill.
There's animals here.
Yeah.
You just got to find them.
It
is getting more. It's getting more sparse, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
As a whole, that's a whole another topic of discussion, I think. But
yeah.
I mean, we had a phenomenal year in Oregon this year.
Yeah.
Nothing really to show for it, but I started hunting some ground we used to hunt when I was a kid, and we got into a ton of elk.
Yeah, we got into a lot of elk this year too. They were quiet, but they were elk.
Yeah. They
were there. We had a good year, and same thing, nothing to show for it, but that'll change.
Oh, definitely.
It'll change as the year. We'll know more as the year goes on.
Yeah. We had numerous bull encounters this year in Oregon, and then, I mean, the out of state was definitely better than the in state. But I mean, if you say that there's no elk in Oregon, you're lying.
I think they have one of the top herds, like second or third largest. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the bigger herds of elk. Yeah. I know Colorado's got the biggest herd, but I think Oregon's right up there. Yeah, you got a lot of elk. I mean,
there is a lot of it now. I mean, there's some private land that holds a bunch of them over east, and that makes it difficult. But there's plenty of elk here. You just gotta get after it.
Yeah,
get away from all the road hunters. That's the problem, is that everyone's drives to a landing, rips a bugle, listens once, gets back in their truck and drives away, and good luck.
Well, a lot of the problem with it too is Oregon's got such big, like, extensive road systems from all the logging that sometimes it's pretty hard to get away from those roads, and you got to find, even when you're looking on a map, like you look at a map, you go, here's the road, there's only 1,000 yards between these roads for maybe 15 square miles. Like, the biggest roadless quote unquote area you can find is like 1,000 yards. Well, then you actually have to go there, because when you look at some of those roads are marked as a road on a map, and they're from a logging operation 12 years ago, right, and the road slid out. So if you can pack your bicycle over the ditch there and go ripping down that way, well, then you have to mark up your own map, right? You turn all of this area into what would be classified as getting away from the road, but it's still a road, right? It's, I don't know who deemed it that, but all these closed and tank trapped roads and stuff, that's all. It's all the stuff that we hit pretty hard.
Absolutely.
Because anywhere you got to walk more than, I would say, a quarter mile to look at a clear cut, you can almost guarantee that 1% of people will look at it.
Oh, yeah, you easily cut out 90% of the people that are in the woods.
Yeah, it's pretty insane how lazy people have gotten. I've been guilty of it, though. There's been days where you're like, morale gets low and you're just in the pickup and you're like, well, I'm just driving all day now. I'm just going to check out some country. Right. Especially like late blacktail season or January hunts or whatever. It's wet and it's cold.
That's when I learn all that country.
The morale is down. You go learn country, but still it's like, and then you kick yourself for it later. I've never kicked myself for like for working hard.
Right.
But I have kicked myself for like, maybe I should have stayed out there a couple hours later, stayed out till dark or whatever. I've kicked myself for that, but never for...
Yeah, and what's funny is like you get up early, you go somewhere, and you go to park somewhere, and there's a rig there, and you're like, damn it, motherfuckers, people in my spot or whatever.
Right.
Like, that's one thing, but then you're hiked in 3 miles somewhere, and you run into somebody. It's like, hey man, how's it going? Like,
right.
You didn't see anything? Like the interaction with people is so much different when you're both like working your ass off. You're packed in somewhere. People are way more. Seems like, I don't know if friendly is the right word. People are friendly most of the time everywhere, but I have way more respect for people that are in doing the same thing that I'm doing than people that are just landing, bombing landing to landing to landing and then messing up my...
I would say there's a far higher level of douchebaggery in the landing drivers too.
Oh.
Like if you've experienced a rifle elk hunting season.
That's why I won't.
You'll shoot a bull and somebody will run down there and shoot the bull when it's already dead. And then Oregon state law says that's now, if they kill it and you have no way of proving that it was dead before they actually shot it, well, then that now becomes their bull. I hear these stories all the time. Like somebody shoots a bull and then 6 rifles go off and now there's a big fight down in the bottom of a unit for whose bull it is. I don't want any part of that.
No.
I'd rather be somewhere where I'm chasing like one elk around by myself and nobody else is with me, nobody else is around. And it might not be the finest bull in the woods, but I don't have to contend with anybody. Then it like brings back that more like natural, like the actual lifestyle of it rather than, who gets there first, because it's taken who's a good hunter to who gets there first. And it's like a big race to get there. And it's kind of dumb.
People sleeping on roads, blocking roads
blocking
the night
roads
before. Which is sad during the rifle season. You almost have to do that if you want to be anywhere other than on the main line.
Yeah.
Opening morning, and it's terrible. I mean, I've heard stories of people breaking toothpicks off in people's locks for blocking off roads.
Yeah.
And, you name it. That the rifle season over here on the coast is just terrible. That's what got me into bow hunting more so. Just the chaos of first season. Even I hunted first and second season when I was younger, but yeah, it was brutal. So
yeah, people are. I don't know. It's like something. There's like a disconnect right now that's going on, and people talk about it all the time. There's like a disconnect between rifle hunters and bow hunters and whitetail hunters and mule deer hunters and blacktail hunters and Roosevelt elk or Rocky Mountain elk or Hoyt or Matthews or whatever. But like, we all just got to freaking get along, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know how many times I've been driving up in the woods and somebody's stuck and you pull them out, or somebody needs help. Like guys walking down in a unit by himself with a crummy old backpack because he shot something, and you're like, I should probably go help that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
because you're like, he's gonna hurt himself down in there, and it's dark and he has no headlamp or whatever. So you're like,
pay it forward.
For sure.
Pay it forward. It always comes around to benefit you, or it will. If it hasn't happened yet, it will.
Well, you just feel better about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just do the right thing is what it boils down to as a whole. But be a good person and do the right thing and help your fellow hunters out.
I think on the meeting people in the backcountry stuff, around here on the west side, like there's not many places we could consider getting into the backcountry, right?
No.
It's all been traveled on wheels before. 90% of it. You can get, if you're hiking through and you see a stump somewhere, somebody's been there. Right, reprod timber, it's been logged.
Right.
People have been there. So you're not necessarily finding places that nobody's been before. I don't know.
Not at all.
Now with the past 10 years or whatever, since it's got so popular to, pack in places, like all of this stuff it's almost getting more crowded, and you hear people talk about it all the time, like just go 2 miles in now instead of going 8 miles in, because guys are walking past animals to go further and further and further.
True.
So it's like, just one of those things like driving to the end of a road. People drive to the end of a skid road, park there, and dive off the end. Everybody goes to the end. You just go 600 yards up it and bomb off there. It's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of interesting how that's kind of all evolves, because it used to be, like you say, you have to get way in there, and everyone's hunting the easy picking stuff, and now everyone's going farther. We kind of had that experience in Idaho. We were hunting one ridge out of camp, and we had people pass us on horseback and going deeper and deeper, and talk to some guides that were in there that been in there for almost 20 days and hadn't. I mean, who knows whether they're telling us the truth or not? But
Right.
they only said they had 2 bulls in close in that whole 20 days between 3 people.
They don't sound like good guides.
Yeah, exactly. And we got in there and saw. I mean, I've never had an elk hunt like that, but we can touch on that later. But we were only 2 miles in.
Yeah.
Where we set up camp, and then we're hunting, within a mile to 2 miles circle outside of that. And
yeah.
we were in elk every day. So
yeah, I mean, even like over in Eastern Oregon, same thing. A lot of roads. In a lot of the areas, a lot of roads, right? In the high country or I wouldn't call it high country, Oregon high country, where it's still timbered, but there's a lot of roads there. But there's a lot of tank trapped roads or the roads that aren't permitted to drive on in that travel management program thing. Just getting on those things, man, it's a killer.
Yeah, it is. It's great. Easy,
it's insanity.
Easy walking, and not a lot of people do it. It really kind of blows my mind. And I understand that people have health issues, disability issues, things like that prevent them from doing that, and that's unfortunate. But I think as a if we're talking as like majority numbers, it's pure laziness.
Yeah,
which is fine. That's
I've been lazy, dude.
Oh, I have too. There's no doubt. I mean,
I've been fat, out of shape. Lazy.
There's that. I've been there. I mean, you name it. I've road hunted for days and days before. But when it comes to success and people wanting to bitch and complain that there's no animals or whatever,
it's the wolves' fault.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe that's contributing.
I think all of them
deer numbers are down. There's no doubt, but if you're not getting out there and getting after it, then I can't really take your argument seriously. If you're out there putting miles on and really covering ground, but people aren't touching, and you go out and you don't see a person for a week, and you don't see an animal for a week. Okay,
yeah,
there's a problem, right? That's a problem. Either you suck at glassing, or there's no animals there, and,
you're in the wrong
and
spot.
that's an issue. So I don't know. I could you can argue that argument probably both ways, but the breakdown of it is you gotta get out there.
Right. Generally, if you go somewhere and you don't see people, it's like your first sign that you're probably not in a great spot because somebody's found the spot before you.
Right.
Like that's just probably. I mean. 99.999% of the time you find a spot and you're like, dude, this honey hole is money. Like, you're going to cut a boot track down in there at some point or a bicycle tire or something. You're going to see something. You'll find a beer can. Dude, I always find beer cans in there. I'm like, oh, this is money, dude. Nobody comes in here. And then you find like a circa 2010 Coors Light can and you're like, bastards have been in here. So, dude, it's always beer cans, especially around here. You find a Hams can, you can bet that it was when they were logging. Definitely. If you find a Keystone, it's probably when the road was open and guys were road hunting for deer.
Right.
If you find a Coors Light, it's a celebration beer.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
That's
doubt.
I've got it. I've got it dialed in now. And then a Busch Light if you're on the coast. Coast guys drink Busch Light.
A lot of coast guys do drink Busch Light.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But, so how you guys just decided to go on this adventure just out of the blue, or was it due to your frustration from last season?
Yeah, well, about 3 years ago we started putting in points, just kind of let's start stacking points for more opportunity, right? I mean, and it all kind of boiled back to some frustration with Oregon. I mean, I have 14 elk points in Oregon right now. I've been saving as long as I've been bow hunting, and I haven't drawn the tag, and I'm saving for, I don't know, Emily or whatever one I decide I want to go for when I actually have the points.
Guys are going to get mad at me, but I'm leaving that in there. It's like no secret.
Right, it's no
People
secret.
think that, they're like, oh, well, guys don't like when you talk about units. If you want to hunt in Oregon, those 2 units.
Those are the 2, I mean, they're the best 2 units in the state.
Everybody's going to say, well, Mount Emily or Wanaha. It's no secret. So if you want to get mad at me, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about probably any other units in the state. But,
me neither.
Or other states, but yeah, that's no secret. So, realistically, I still got 4 years before I draw it.
5.
Yeah.
5 years.
Any of them. So,
let me know, though, because I'll come pack a camera around for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be
awesome.
A
lifetime right there.
Yeah. But, so, that's frustrating in itself. You got to wait damn near 20 years to draw a tag. Or a quality tag, I guess, in Oregon. So we started talking about, like, well, let's maybe if we get some points in Wyoming, and then look into Colorado, look at some over-the-counter tags, and Idaho and whatever. And if we can start kind of a 5-year rotation of states,
where you can hunt one of them
always
every year.
Hunt Oregon every year, general season, and you can find some other general season tags in other states that are worth a shit. Then let's try it. So
there's a lot of good general season tags out there.
Phenomenal. I mean, you see people killing stud bulls all over the place, and a lot of them are over the counter. It's just finding those,
or one and 2 point draws.
Yeah, exactly.
That are like, that's the thing is if everywhere, like a lot of places, Idaho's super good about it. If you look on their website and you click on the unit, and then you click on the species in the unit, it'll show you in the unit like, general whitetail hunt, general mule deer, antlerless, all that, and then the draw tag for the area, it might be a muzzleloader or something, and then archery. If you click on that, it'll show you the harvest statistics from like 2000 to current of percentage of animals killed, number of people that actually reported that they hunted on the tag, so like tag holders, people that hunted, and then the number of deer killed, with what weapon, all that stuff. So like there's such good resources. For you to figure out.
Same thing.
Yeah, for you to figure out where you want to go. Oregon's lacking on that, but I think with the new electronic app stuff they're doing, I think it's going to help out.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to be progressive, but it sucks when you talk to people about reporting and they're like, I just put no on everything. And whether I kill something or not, I put no.
Right.
So like, well, that's pretty dumb.
I
think it's illegal. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
I don't know the rules on either, but
I would hope it would be.
I mean, then it just throws skewed data for everything and botches the tag numbers, but people are going to be, they're... You're not going to stop that, right?
Guys are stuck in their ways. The same people that tell you, like, oh, I ain't giving the government my information are the same ones that have a Facebook account. So if you think your information isn't available, you're dumb. Right. But anyway, so...
yeah, absolutely.
I go down some seriously deep rabbit holes.
So like I say, we started putting in for points in Wyoming, and ended up this year we had enough to draw. So Wyoming's kind of funky, for the general season over-the-counter tag in Wyoming. They give out, like, I don't remember the numbers, 3,400 tags roughly for non-resident over-the-counter. And there's like 8,000 applicants.
Jeez.
So even for their over-the-counter tag, you still have to have preference points to draw it. So it's taking, it took 2 this year. There's point creep there. It's going up as well.
Yeah.
It's going to start taking 3. That's the tag you can draw every 3 years, and and there's like 40 units that you can hunt in Wyoming.
Crazy.
So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. We did a bunch of research on kind of where to go, and just like the same thing you were saying, unit numbers and hunters versus success ratio and private versus public land percentages and stuff like that. Use the app GoHunt.
You bought the membership for that?
Yeah, I bought the membership for GoHunt. That was pretty helpful.
Yeah, I've thought about it.
It has some good stuff. I will probably do that again if I plan to hunt out of state in a new area. It's a good resource. A lot of that information, though, you can get on like Wyoming Fish and Game, Idaho Fish and Game, like we just talked about.
It just takes all of it and shoves it into one place. And
you can click back and forth from species to species pretty easily, and you can filter it all.
That's cool.
So you can filter it down to, I want a unit that has 60% success rate, 100% public land, and I can draw with 3 points.
Right.
And it'll filter out all the units
nice.
And drop it down to like the 4 units in the state that have those criteria.
Yeah.
Then you can play around with your filters and dial it in from there.
That's pretty neat, because that was going to be one of my questions for you that I just thought about was how you planned out these areas, having never hunted it before.
Yeah, and I didn't know anybody who's hunted in Wyoming personally. So we were chilly at from the drawing board there, and I talked with a buddy from work, and he was in the same point. We each had the same amount of points, so I was actually planning on going solo and taking my fiance.
Yeah.
And then he's well, I'm thinking about going this year too, and I'm like, do we might as well pair up and go together. Him and I had never hunted together before.
So you gave her the boot?
No, she went.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, it was her and I, and then him, and we went for 7 days. to Wyoming. Him and I sat down, used Go Hunt. We looked at Onyx maps, and just kind of
winged it.
We drew an X and went there, and it was shit. It was total shit. The first place we went sucked. We pulled in there. We drove all night. We got there, and the country was absolutely amazing. I mean, it's like what you think elk country would be. We were in it, and there wasn't a whole lot of people there, which I'm like, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But maybe they just it's middle of the week, right? It didn't look like an elk had lived there for 2 years. And we cut some old sign through there, old rubs, old tracks, old shit, you name it. No bugles heard, no elk seen, no animals seen for that matter. A couple deer on the road, but that was it. So we gave that a full day. We put on about 10 miles.
Yeah.
And said, screw it, we're out. And we camped that night about 3 or 4 miles from where we initially hit the trail. We came back to the truck, hit a few more spots. Nothing. So we went to town, got some cell service, and right back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And we picked another random spot on the map and went there. And we packed in for 3 days. And we started getting into some elk. Big outfitter camp there. We're at the trailhead. It's got to be
good.
Yeah. And we started getting into some elk there. But it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Big country, put on a lot of miles. We finally got a bull to bugle, and I'm so used to hunting Roosevelts that a lot of times with the Rosies, you get one talking, and you got to close that gap.
You just hard charging.
They're not going to come to you very often unless you're in their zone, right?
You got to get in. You got to get in.
Yeah, you got to get in their zone.
Yeah.
And man, that bull, the first bull we got going in Wyoming, that's what both of us were like, all right, we got to get in there, and we moved up 50 yards. That bull bugled. Brock dropped back to call, and I was trying to get Val, my fiance, set up at the camera. And in 2 bugles, I turned around and said, hey, go sit behind this tree, which is like 5 yards behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the process of knocking an arrow, and I turned around, and that bull standing there looking at me at 9 yards. I mean, he closed the gap. He closed a 100-yard gap in 30 seconds.
He just sent it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he bugled, like, oh, he's in the bottom, perfect. I'm going to move up here like 30 yards. We'll bring him in. And dude, he was.
Well, that's
there.
that picture you posted. That was it Spike by Fork or Spike?
No, this was a good bull. I didn't get any photos of him at all. Oh. It all happened so fast. She was still moving, like walking the other direction. I turned around, and all I see is dark, heavy horns and a face looking at me through the trees.
Gosh.
And he was right
frontal?
there. I mean,
he would have been frontal?
No, if he would have came in, he would have walked right past me, above me. If I would have been sitting there, I would have had a 10-yard shot totally broadside. He was walking right to my buddy who was calling.
Even I probably couldn't screw that up.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, it would have been unbelievable. And we just overplayed it.
Yeah. And
I mean, that was a huge learning lesson. Like, oh shit, we
should have just.
If we would have sat where we were, he would have came right to us.
Huh.
And I think we would have probably killed him. But he was a decent bull. I don't know. I only got that one glimpse, and then he went back down and bugled for a while. And our wind shifted, and he busted out of there.
Yeah.
Got a decent look at him. But we hunted in there for another day and a half after that whole first day and got out of there. Didn't see a whole lot more elk there. And we, same thing, went back to the drawing board a third time, and that's where we hit it good. We ended up driving like 4 hours that night. And just, again, another totally random spot in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And third time was a charm, man. We set up camp at like 12:30 in the morning. Threw the tents out, got a couple hours of sleep, and we're on just a closed road. We're talking no trailhead, no nothing. It's in a pretty populated area. A lot of hunters, a lot of camps around. It's mind-blowing. I've never seen so many trailers in my life. I bet you within 8 miles of the highway there to be 40+ trailers.
Jeez.
Just every pull out on the side of the road was full of trailers. But I think that there's no one at 80% of them, and I think a lot of people just leave them up there for the rifle season, and or deer season.
They do that in Eastern Oregon.
Yeah,
because it's those areas where the road's shut at a certain time, and then so they pull their trailers up there, and then when the deer season comes, they park down at the bottom where it's closed and walk up to their trailers. And they live and hunt around that area in their trailer.
That makes sense.
So it might be one of those limited access areas but it's a certain time of year. So I think in Eastern Oregon it's like October 1st. Some of these roads shut down until like March. Mm-hmm. So these guys just leave their trailers up there all year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they go get them in the spring, which sounds kind of dumb. Like you leave your super expensive trailer that you can't use now for the rest of the year.
Oh, there was
sitting up in
so much money.
6 feet of snow. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was packed. I mean, people had firewood cut and tarped. I mean,
it must have been for rifle season.
And no one was there.
Yeah.
And at first, like when we saw that driving in there, we're like, holy shit, wow. I've never seen so many people in both seasons of my life, right? Anyway, we figured out that there was hardly anybody hunting. Really, there were some deer hunters in there we ran into, and we saw one other group of elk hunters in there the whole time.
Cool.
But we set camp. We got up the next morning and hit the closed road. It's a gated off road. We got in there about a half a mile. Cracked a bugle off, bull touched off right there. Our wind was bad, so we had to loop kind of down and around. We got in there that morning and got him going, fired up. We split his herd. I was calling. It's my turn to call. I'm sitting back calling, and we were back and forth with this bull for, I don't know, half an hour. We got the wind right finally, and the bull had gotten to be like above my buddy Brock, who was shooting, and kind of in line with me now, so I knock an arrow, thinking I'm going to call him. I might just call him past him.
Right.
And he comes back to me and is like, hey, he got past me. His herd's split. He's up there trying to like get his cows. He was just keep him talking. I'm going to try and slip in on him. All right, cool. Sounds good. And about, I don't know, 20 minutes before that, I heard one other bull bugle behind me.
Right.
My wind was blowing right that way. And I'm like, there's no way that thing's going to come in, but awesome. We got two bulls bugling. This one doesn't work out. We'll loop around and try and get on him. And I forgot about it entirely. And we back and forth with the bull again, for another little while. And then all of a sudden, I hear some crunching coming up the hill. And I turn around and I hear this, ew, ew, ew.
Oh, he was mewing?
It almost sounded like a cow call, like a cow mew. And I turn around, and all I see is horns coming through the brush, coming right at me. Huh. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
Bulls mewing at you?
Yeah, it was bulls mewing at me.
Yeah.
And he's like trotting, coming up the hill. Huh. I'm going to shoot this thing right here. I'm like laughing at myself, and my fiance's sitting right there, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, there's a bull right here. He's coming right at me. And she's like, what? I'm like, he's right fucking here. And that other bull's still bugling. Brock's up there cow calling with him. And this bull comes in and stops at 20 yards. I'm at full draw for like a minute. He's right behind this little aspen bush. And he's standing there like just sniffing the air, trying to figure out what's going on.
Where the elk is.
And that other bull bugles. And that bull takes a step forward. And I put one right behind the front shoulder. He wheels over.
As opposed to the back shoulder?
As opposed to, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great.
And he wheels off, runs about 80 yards. I hear him crash and roll down there.
Sweet.
And I'm, doing the victory dance. And
was that Val's first hunt?
Yeah, she hunted here in Oregon with me last year, but first hunt ever being close to elk and then having any.
She's pretty fired up.
Yeah, she's awesome. It's super cool. First encounter with bugles and bulls being close and things like that. So it was pretty wild. And she couldn't actually see the elk when I shot. She was like 10 yards to my right. And couldn't actually have a view. We're in this old blowdown kind of aspeny stuff, and he literally just walked right through the lane, and I smoked it. He ran off, and Brock had no idea I even killed it. He's still up there with that bull. I start viewing. We keep this other bull going for another, 5 or 10 minutes, and then he finally hooked his herd and took off heading towards right towards our camp. And I go up to Brock, and he kind of gave me the signal to move up to him. I had Val stay right there, and I ran up, and he's like, dude, he hooked his cows. He's moving towards camp. We got to go. Our wind's still good.
Like,
If he didn't blow, and I'm like, I just killed one, dude. And he's like, what? I'm like, I got a bull dead back here. He's like, oh, shit. So it was pretty cool. I've never had an experience like that. I mean, I don't know I've ever had two bulls bugling at the same time within a remote vicinity. I've heard probably, one ping way off here and then a half a mile behind you, another one go off.
You probably killed the satellite then.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, he wasn't anything to rave about.
You went somewhere you've never been before,
I'm not one to pass up anything.
Right.
I will. Yeah,
if it's legal,
a dead bull's a dead bull.
Legal, you're shooting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good way to be.
there's years that you go that you might not kill one hunting, at least in Oregon,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I've probably killed half a dozen branch bulls in my life, and that's not enough for me to start getting picky and choosing size and whatever. So.
Yeah.
And like I say, at that point we were halfway through our week. We spent almost 2 days in transit, getting from the first spot that didn't work out to the second spot, and second spot to the third spot. But so pack was short that day. We ran to town, got some ice, got him hung, and then I had the cooler cooling down, and we went right back in there that night and got right back on that bull that we were on, and he was at 40 yards frontal, and my buddy, we ended up jumping the herd on that road. Yeah. And that bull came screaming right in. It stopped at 40, and as he was knocking his arrow, same thing. It happened so fast. Yeah. Wind shifted, and they were gone. So we chased quite a few elk in that little region. The rest of the week, I just wish we would have found it sooner.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now we know.
3 years from now, you probably kill 2 bulls in there.
Yeah, potentially. It was. One thing I will say about it is it wasn't as stellar as I anticipated it to be. Right. We heard those 2 bulls. The next day we got on it. We chased a big bull all day, 7 hours worth of back and forth bugles on one bull. And then we got screwed with the wind. The next day it was super windy, couldn't hear anything. But it wasn't. I don't know. It was still great. I guess I can't knock it. But I think that we came back to Oregon, and I got into about the same amount of elk in a week hunting the coast as I did in Wyoming. Mm-hmm.
But you've also been hunting the coast of Oregon for
absolutely
10 plus years.
I think that we will go back to Wyoming for sure in 3 years. There's no doubt in my mind.
Your confidence will be higher.
We had a phenomenal experience. It was super cool. The country was gorgeous. We had good opportunities that just didn't work out for the second tag. Learned a lot. I think that I would start elsewhere. Again, I'd pick another random X, and then that spot that I killed that bull, that road system through there is all closed. It's a big drainage that's closed. I would keep that as a kind of my plan B or whatever. Yeah, plan B or C, and kind of do the same thing again. But yeah, it was good. It was a great experience. So
yeah, that's definitely something I need to start getting on. We were the last 2 years, Chantel and I have talked about hunting Idaho. It just hasn't worked out, with not being able to get time off, especially now. Yeah, PTO situations in the dumps. So not being able to get time off, this year I drew New Mexico, and that's going to soak up all my PTO days just to go down there for a week. Right. It's that's all the time off that I have. Yeah. So I was well, I guess since I drew New Mexico, Idaho's out of the picture this year, and so is anything else. A buddy of mine wanted me to come hunt blacktails in the wilderness in California with him, and I'm I can't now. I don't have time off. So
when are you in New Mexico?
January. Nice. January 1st. Well, I'll be down there the 30th through the 8th or 9th. Nice. Yeah. December 30th, come back the 8th or 9th of January. Mule deer hunting with a bow. Nice. It's either going to be 6 degrees or 50 degrees. We're not really sure yet, so you got to pack the whole kitchen sink.
That'd be cool. That'd be a good experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get all my crap on the plane. I'm flying because I'm going by myself. It's a 30-hour drive if I went by myself.
Yeah, no, that's
fun. Not going to happen. No. Not in January over all the whatever big passes and chaining up and all that crap. I'm not doing it. So yeah, I think I'm going to ship my bow before because UPS is way more trustworthy than TSA. So I'm going to jam everything in a box, ship that, and whatever clothes I could fit in there with it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the travel
your hard case and fill it full of your whatever you can fill out with all your clothes. I bet you.
And my knives and all that, because then I could just take my hunting pack on the plane. Yeah. I think you would think they'll allow a hunting pack on a plane.
I don't know why they wouldn't. They can't. They can't discriminate against that. What do you have in there? Binoculars? Oh yeah, I'm gonna bomb this plane with binoculars. Come on,
dude. Please. Yeah, you can't say bomb this plane on the podcast.
Well, I said it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to do? Hijack this play? Can I say hijack on this podcast?
You're just digging a hole for me. I think that it's a good thing this isn't regulated. It's a good thing they don't regulate these podcasts.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
sorry.
they'd be really screwed.
Well,
But so then,
disclaimer: there's no intentions to bomb a plane. As is a
you keep saying that.
On optics.
Yeah. They're I don't know. They're crazy, dude. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
When I get back, we're hunting together.
Yes, sounds
So
good.
I got so much to do, so many things to hunt between November and like the end of January. It's pretty crazy this year. I regret a couple tag choices right now.
Yeah.
Like I should have just got a rifle deer tag this year because Chantel has a elk hunt in November. I've got an elk hunt in November, and then we've both got archery tags in December.
What elk can you?
One of the leftover cow tags.
Oh yeah, fossil, right?
Yeah, so then I've got that November cow tag, and then we both have deer hunts that fall in line with both of those elk tags, and then right when that's done, it's still duck season, and then I'm leaving right after Christmas to go to New Mexico, come back, got another elk hunt. Like, it's gonna be, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just hunt on days off. Right.
I've been pretty much nonstop hunting since August 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, fall bear. I drew an antelope tag.
Yeah, you bastard.
That was totally lucky.
That was ridiculous.
I drew that, and then right into elk season from that, and then elk season I was,
Now you're making up for all your time off in your work hours.
Yes.
Scott just got off a 72-hour shift.
Yeah.
As we're talking here, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty of it. But you started in Oregon.
Started in Oregon.
You hunted how many days here before you left for Wyoming?
Hunted opening weekend.
And it sucked?
Actually, yes and no. I don't know. We saw some elk opening weekend. We actually got one bull to bugle one time. So that was opening weekend in Oregon, but that was one more bugle than I heard in Oregon last year. So that was started off successful. We saw a little branch bull we were trying to make a hunt on, and that just didn't work out. But yeah, hunted around here, and then we went eastern Oregon. My dad and I did for just a quick 2-night trip.
Yeah,
I ran into your buddy over there.
Yeah.
We got into some elk there. I actually stuck a spike over there, called a spike into 18 yards. I had my pin set for 30, and I caught him a little high. I got a good pass through. We had it all on film. It's pretty cool. Like 2 cow calls. That thing came in on a jogging from 250 yards up the hill, and we were sitting in the saddle. I mean, it was unbelievable. I never would have thought that it would have played out the way it did. He came in and stopped at 30. I thought he was going to come right across me broadside, and he didn't. He hooked right up the hill.
You shoot a single pin?
I do. I shoot a single pin. Yeah, the spot hog.
I'm terrified of shooting a single pin for that reason.
I really like it. Mine has it's the double pin. It has the
2-pin thing.
Yeah, the 2-pin thing, but
the extra dot.
I dig it. I haven't really found a situation where I haven't had the time to change it within that range. Those that 2 pins aren't going to work.
10-yard range.
Yeah, he came in. I had to cow call at him to stop him. He was going to walk right past me, and I cow called at him. He took about 2 extra steps, and I had one little limb in the lower third of the vitals. And that's kind of where I was planning on holding, and my mental game went to shit.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I ended up raising up and was holding pretty much dead center vitals, and I was 4 inches high, and I obviously pulled a little bit because I put it 2 inches below the spine.
Dead space, no zone.
Dead space, no zone. I truly think I found my arrow light. I mean, thin, light blood on it. You could see it kick out. I mean, on the video, and that thing run like a cut cat all the way for out of sight of the video frame. And it was pretty open, old burn.
Yeah.
So we could see him run for like 400 yards. We got on his tracks, and we didn't find a speck of blood. We figured we tracked him for 600 plus yards, just tracks, and then it turned into an elk highway, and I have no idea which way he went.
He's probably just sore, but alive.
I think he's alive. Yeah.
People have trouble with spikes. I don't get what it is. Spikes are they're like some sort of magic, like unicorn elk. Because I had that arrow deflect, missed a spike clean this year. You shot through that spike, missed it. Everybody I know that has shot spikes always has a spike get away. Like, every single year, somebody's like, yeah, man, I pinwheeled this spike and never found him.
I don't know.
My buddy Travis, he's coming on the podcast soon. He shot a nice branch bull this year, but he's like, man, I don't shoot spikes anymore just because, one, they don't feed us for the whole year. You know, him and his wife. They don't feed us for the whole year. And number two, he's like, almost every spike I've shot, I've had trouble with it dying. Like, it seems like they're just tougher. I don't know why. That's
interesting. Yeah, so we had that encounter in Eastern Oregon. That's pretty cool. I mean, we called him in. That was in the first 5 days of the season. Pretty neat. Anytime you can get a bull inside of 20 yards, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And then we went to Idaho after that. I hunted Oregon, I guess, a couple more days and just had really no success in Oregon. And then we went to Wyoming. Had obviously success in Wyoming.
Yeah, that's good.
Which was super cool. Came back from that, and then we hunted Oregon for a couple more days, probably 4 more days in Oregon, and we got into a couple pockets of elk here, and we chased bugles from sun up to sundown for almost a week in Oregon.
Jeez.
It was unbelievable.
In Idaho?
Oregon.
Oh, in Oregon.
Oregon on the coast, man. We hit, I haven't had a Roosevelt elk hunting week like that in, I don't know if ever. It was phenomenal. We got in close, had some bulls at 40 yards. We just couldn't get shot. It's so thick and brushy. And
that's most of the problem is, like, I don't know how many bulls you get that close on every year and you just can't get a shot at. I had to pass 2 different bulls this year that were bigger to just because you don't have a shot, right? Like, if that bull's not sitting there for long enough for you to pick a spot through the twigs, and like the bull that I shot at this year, I had perfect line of sight, like maybe like a 18 to 20 inch hole in the tree branches there, and it's so dark in that timber too that I just didn't see. There was like a legit limb sitting there that I ended up hitting. So like, it's pretty rough, but that's one thing people don't understand until you actually come over here and hunt bulls on the coast is like, there's thick places and then there's the coast range.
Coast range, thick places.
And it's like, you got ferns. Like, for you, it's fine. You're still over the top of them. But sometimes I'm like holding my bow up over my head and walking through ferns, and if it hasn't rained yet, then you're choking on the dust from the ferns. And then you trip on the vine maple and the berries, and like, I've said it before, if you want to find out if your pants are bomb proof, like,
bring them to the coastal.
Bring them to the coast. Yeah, if you're wearing like thin early season pants, you're just gonna destroy them. I want to make like Cordura gaiters that are not waterproof, just like regular old gaiters, just to go like from just below my knee all the way to my boots, just so I don't blow pants up.
Yeah,
I feel like it would be easy. Somebody needs to make that for me. The bow hike gaiter.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
They would, like, just for hunting the coast. Nobody else is allowed to have them.
No one else needs them.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
I'm sure there's places that suck. Sagebrush, that stuff sucks. But it's softer, it seems like.
It's softer and it's not as thick. I mean, it's so sparse. You hit, a couple sage bushes here and there, and then you walk clean for 5 feet.
Or that buckbrush. Buckbrush is pretty bad.
Yeah, that stuff sucks. Yeah, we had a bull at 6 yards. Dad and I pushed up through this big shithole and came out on a stump. And the only place we could stand that we could see 5 feet in any direction was this stump, and the bull was in the tree in front of us. I mean,
I've lost them in like reprod, like even 8-10-year-old reprod, where my buddy was watching from up on top of a ridge, and he's like, dude, why did you not shoot that bull? I'm like, I didn't see the bull. It's like, oh, he was 8 yards from you. He was on the other side of that tree. You were standing on one side and he was on the other side. I'm like, dude, I had no idea. Like, it's amazing how they can be 1,000-pound elk can be that quiet, first off, and like not break a twig. Normally, they sound like a D6 dozer coming through the woods, but sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah,
Coast is a crazy place.
It is.
I had only 5 days or 6 days to hunt, and it was in the early part of the season, and we were on elk every day, but it was like I wouldn't even call it a spot and stalk. It was more of a still hunt type elk hunt, because we'd just move 20-30 yards, cow call, bugle a little, hear some stuff pop, move up again, just because. And like, the coastal range, it's hard to get a constant wind. Like, thermals are bullshit over there. They're not even real, it seems. I mean, they are sometimes, and somebody might tell me I'm an idiot, but from my experience this year, where we hunted at least, you go, like, you're definitely hunting above a creek. It's below you. And you're staying on this at the same elevation, but, like, you drop over a little ridge, and it's a completely different wind.
Totally different.
And then you're like, damn it, now I'm blowing wind down the bottom where the elk are. Got to back out. Well, then you go one ridge back, and it's still blowing wind down there. So you got one option, and it's come down straight on top of their heads. And then you get another 50 feet down there, and then the wind from one ridge over is now blowing down, and you're just screwed. Like, it seems like that coast range stuff, man. So we weren't having elk bugle. They weren't. I mean, we heard like 2 or 3 bugles the whole time, 7 days. Like, you can imagine the level of excitement that was in our, we're just like, this is BS. So we had that, and I mean, we got on some elk, we got a shot, we got a little bit of footage, but it was just, there was a big bull in there, 250 plus,
nice.
6-point in there, and so he's still on our radar for next year.
Absolutely.
He'll make it. He's in a spot that I don't think anybody's going to shoot him at. But like I said, everybody goes everywhere. But it's just, it's crazy. It sounds like you had a far better season than I did thus far.
Yeah, I can't knock it at all. It's the best season that we've had in
forever.
I mean, aside from packing meat, great, very grateful we killed a bull in Wyoming, right? That was super cool. But aside from killing something in Oregon this year, it's one of the best seasons that we've had here in the last 5 years, probably. Just
as far as experience goes.
Yes, exactly. Experience and bringing bulls in close. With bow hunting, it's a game of inches and seconds, and that was absolutely the case on, I don't know, 6, 7 different encounters this year in Oregon. The
fact of the matter is, throughout the 3 states you hunted, you guys got shots at elk in each of the 3 states.
Yep.
So...
Yeah,
run us through
multiple shots at elk in all the 3 states.
Yeah, take us through Idaho, man. We've covered Oregon a little bit. We covered the end of Oregon. We covered your Wyoming hunt.
Idaho was off the hook. It was phenomenal. I've never had an elk hunting experience like it.
You're welcome, Idaho.
Yeah.
Idaho hunters, you're welcome.
Yeah.
We're sending all the people your way.
Yeah, it was good. My cousin did all the research on it. I was kind of devoted to Wyoming, and his coworker did shed some light on it. He was not hunting there anymore. We're backpacking into some big, doesn't even describe it remotely. It's an absolutely huge country. Very steep, very rugged. But there was elk there, and at one point we had 5 bulls.
Jeez.
It was just we were laughing. It was
it's like, what do you do?
Great. Yeah, what do you do? Which one do you go for? We saw, I don't even know how many elk we saw. We saw a ton of elk. It was
over
great.
100. You think?
I don't know about over 100, but we saw a lot of bulls. I guess we saw a lot of solo bulls and a couple different herds. In what were we in there? We packed in one day. In there, hunted for basically 3 full days, and a pack-in day, and then a pack-out day. And I think we saw 14 bulls.
Jeez.
Heard I don't know how many bugles, and of those 14, 3 of them were the biggest bulls I've ever seen in my life, hands down. Like the 1, 2, and 3 biggest bulls I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
In person.
A lot of hunters?
No.
Really?
Not where we were. We ran into one group. They got packed in on horses from the bottom. We saw some horse traffic through there. And we saw a few. And we only hunted one drainage. We didn't leave the one drainage that we were in the whole time.
Why leave?
Yeah. So I couldn't even tell you how many hunters were. We didn't make it all the way to the bottom. We didn't even go into where we were planning on going to.
Why pass elk to find elk, right?
Right. Yeah. And we ended up just setting up a spike camp in there, and it was crazy. We were all pretty discouraged once we got in there. We hadn't seen shit. We saw poached elk with just the horns cut off it, which really pissed us off, right on the trail.
That's bullshit.
Total bullshit.
If that guy's listening by chance, you're a douche.
You're a dick.
Yeah.
it's just all, the guts were all eaten out of it, and all 4 legs were on it. It was just total chicken shit. But anyway, we got past that, and we were all pretty tired from packing in there. And we went with my dad, who's 56. You know, I mean, he absolutely killed it in there. It was pretty cool to see. So we were fairly beat, discouraged. We hadn't seen the elk. We set up camp. It was windy. We tried doing some calling that night. Didn't hear anything. Like a half hour before dark, I looked up, and there's a bull pushing cows down the hill. Oh, there's elk. And we started glassing, and it's like, oh, there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And we had 4 bulls spotted the first night we were in there.
No complaints.
And it's like, well, shit. I mean, they were way higher than where we were at, and I mean, no time to make a move on that night.
Of course.
Next morning we got up and got into them, and bulls were talking every which direction, and you'd see the elk for like the first half hour in the morning, and the last hour of light at night. We had the full moon. That kind of screwed us, I think, as far as they're just bedding all day long. But we had plenty of close encounters in Idaho. My cousin and dad both ended up missing bulls, which was they were pretty disappointed about, obviously. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, we brought some bulls in close, 20, 30 yards. We had one slip in on us quiet. Probably the biggest bull I've ever seen in my life was at 26 yards, and none of us knew it until he turned and walked out of there. I can't. It was crazy. We're going back probably every year from now on.
Yeah, I really want to. I
That's
really
the
want to
only
go.
counter tag that you can draw. I don't know. I never probably would have found that place if my cousin's coworker hadn't told him about it. You know, we were pretty fortunate to have good inside info from a guy who's hunted it for almost 12 years, I think.
Now he doesn't want to do it anymore.
It's just too big a country for him. He's getting older and he can't make it in there. So he does some day hunt stuff in a different part near there, which we went and hit and didn't have any success in after we packed out of there. We saw one bull, found some good sign, but just didn't see any elk. The second place we went in Idaho, but the first little place we went where we packed in, I don't know, shit, it could have been total luck. We might have just, hit the honey hole. We talked to some other people in there, and they're like, well, we haven't seen shit. It's brutal. Like I told you, those guys that were packing out, I mean, they had 3 horses. They were loaded down. They said they've been in there since the 5th. And they, we've kind of all been all through here. We've hunted it for years. A lot more pressure this year than years before. But we haven't seen nearly the elk numbers. Nothing's really talking. Blah, blah, blah. We're like, damn.
Yeah.
That's discouraging as we're, 1,200 feet vertical elevation into our 2,000-foot climb. Like, what do we do now? Screw it, let's go. Let's just get in there and see what we see.
Yeah, worked out for the best.
It worked out good. Yeah, obviously, yet again, aside from packing meat, we couldn't close the deal on anything.
But definitely should have killed 2 bulls.
We definitely should have killed 2 bulls, and realistically, we probably should have killed 4 bulls.
Yeah.
We had opportunities at a few more that, for one reason or another, didn't go our way. We had shifty winds. The wind was brutal. Same thing. Just we could never get the wind right, it seemed like. And then the couple times we did, we pulled them in, but we lost numerous bulls to just swirling shitty wind.
When you're going 5 miles to cover 800 yards.
Yeah. And it's
you're up, you're down, around the bull this way, and
it's so hard to really get in front of them. They know where they're going. You got a decent idea where they're going, and there's just absolutely no way to beat them there. You can't pull out and get in your pickup, rip around a road, and then drop in front of them by a mile. There's none of that. It's just so hard.
They got 4-wheel drive. You don't.
And another thing that kind of hurt us again, I referred to it earlier, was that moving too quickly. A couple times we'd get bulls going all right, they're right there, and we'd be moving in. It's like
walk right into them.
Then they were they were coming to us. That's just that's a concept that I personally am not used to after hunting the coast my whole life. I haven't really hunted too much Rocky Mountain. No, we've never really hunted Eastern Oregon for elk.
Yeah, I've hunted
all that much.
I've hunted it one time.
So I learned a ton. I learned so much this year, and fortunate enough we had a bunch of good encounters with elk. Just learned some different stuff with calling and cow calls versus different types of bugles, and I'm definitely looking forward to next year. I think my hunting plan next year will be a little bit different as far as when I take time off. And
that's what I need to do. Yeah, I took time off too early, I think.
Yeah.
I want to go out of state next year, so I'm going to try and take 2 weeks off. Maybe hit Oregon for a week, hit Idaho for a week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have not a clue in Idaho.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go like you guys did, man. Put an X on a map, go there, see what happens.
That's
what's gonna hurt, you know?
Exactly. Well,
be out a few $100.
It can't hurt you at all, other than financially.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, if you save money all year for stuff like that, it really doesn't hurt you in the end. I mean, the only thing you end up paying out of pocket is fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Like that New Mexico tag. You know, I don't know. I think I'm total with a flight and a tag, and you know, it's a pretty cake hunt from. My cousin's hunted it a few different times, and we're staying in a hotel, and it's like $40 a night hotel.
Nice.
That's, you know, right up the road from where we're going. So you got a hot shower and a microwave.
Mm-hmm.
And he's packing me all the food since I'm flying down there. So he's making all the burritos and
what do you
crap.
do with your meat if you kill something? How do you get that home?
I'm gonna buy. This is my plan. I'm gonna buy a suitcase from a thrift store for like $3, and then I'm gonna freeze all my meat hard, and then buy a bunch of random clothes from the thrift store, and like wrap the frozen meat in the clothes, shove it in the suitcase, zipper closed, and throw it in the belly of the plane.
Should work.
Yeah. And then you know, like the skulls can't leave with brain. Well, I don't know about Texas, or not Texas, New Mexico. I don't know what their rules are.
Can't leave with brain, probably.
Probably. I would. That should be everywhere.
Yeah, boil it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Just boil it there. Cool. You know. I don't know. I don't know if you can fly a deer skull, so I'll probably ship that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's if I kill something in the first place. You know, it's hit or miss. But it should be fun. But I'm into it. Maybe by the time it's all said and done, I might have spent $700, which it's a lot of money, sure. But you know, I bought the tag in I think February or March,
right? And
then I bought the flight in September, and then you know I'm buying and whatever else.
Trips paid for before you go.
Trips done and paid for. Right. I got a ticket and a tag. Now it's going to cost me. We'll split some fuel and split the hotel.
Yeah. And
it's, you know, if you can find somebody to split that stuff up with, it's pretty cheap.
Absolutely.
Because like you go to drive from here to Wyoming. How many miles was that? 2,000? No. No.
I think we did 20. What did we do? I want to say 20.
Let's just go with 2,500 so we sound neat.
I was thinking 2,200 miles round trip, 2,250. Right?
So would you burn 100 gallons of fuel?
Yeah, I think there's 3 of us and we all did 2 tanks.
Yeah, so that's really pretty cheap, man.
Yeah.
Like when you...
A couple $100 a piece for fuel.
Yeah, and then, I mean, food, a lot of that you save money on by, you know, bringing stuff from home and not just buying junk on the road anyways.
Yeah, and we like...
I eat a lot of like tuna and... bring a lot of cheese and stuff that, you know.
Backpacking meals, you know, a lot. We were mostly outside of camp.
Yeah, those things tear me up.
Oh, they wreck me.
My guts were in such bad shape.
Brutal.
Yeah, you have to air out your sleeping bag every morning.
Yeah,
it's rough.
And then you put 2 people in one of those little tents, touching them, both eating Mountain House meals.
That's brutal.
Rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good. But Wyoming, we were fortunate. We broke it up a little bit. Idaho, not so much. We were deep packed in, you know, for the full 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
There was no change in the diet there.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. A lot of guys like plan out and pack all these super healthy meals to go on backpacking, and for me, I'm like, I'm gonna go for easy, and I'll feel like shit.
Yeah, calories.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, man, that pretty much sums up your pretty sweet elk season, pretty badass trip.
Yeah.
What are you running for gear too? I know you're running an XO.
I run XO. Yeah, I got the XO 3500 pack this last year.
Did that 3500, was that big enough for your 5 days comfortably?
Plenty big enough. Yeah, and realistically I probably overpack.
Yeah,
as it is.
I do too.
So I think if you were really dialed and really strict on your meals, like if you really dialed your meals out and we're like truly going to eat, you know, this bag with this bag with this bag for a day, you condense down, and depending on weather, we didn't really know what to expect weather-wise in Idaho, so we packed a little heavy, I
Yeah,
think.
I always do though. I'm always like, man, what's a pound and a half for a rain jacket and gaiters at least?
Right.
You know?
So with all that being said, yeah, I had it was perfect for about a 5-day hunt. I think if you were really dialed, you might be able to get 6 maybe.
Or if you made a trip early and dropped some junk off.
That too, yeah. Or if you were going with somebody and you could split like camp stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's a big
if
thing.
Both didn't take tents or something. You could definitely maybe squeeze another day or 2 in
one
there.
Guy brings trekking poles, one guy brings a tarp or whatever if you're planning on doing it that way. And
Yep, exactly.
And then split up food stuff. Because a lot of those mountain houses are 2 meals a pop and you're sharing them like, I don't know.
I eat
the whole thing too.
And by the end of the day,
but you're
so calorie deficient.
Right, yeah. But, I don't know, man.
Yeah, so running that Exo pack for my pack, obviously, and it's that. I can't speak highly about it.
They're badass. If I could afford one, I'd have one.
Yeah, I packed a couple elk, a couple deer, antelope, and 2 bears with it now.
Yeah,
Ray bear with it, and it's better than my pack frame.
Oh, I'd love to have one, dude.
They're great. So
yeah,
highly recommend that. And then running all First Light gear for clothes.
Yeah,
pretty sold on that stuff.
And they make stuff for tall people.
They do, yeah. They have some tall sizes, which works out well. I've never been uncomfortable. You know, you get wet, it dries out quick. You sweat, it dries out quick. It doesn't stink. You can wear it for 4 or 5 days at a time.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about wearing the wool stuff. It doesn't dry quick for me, at least my experience.
Really?
Yeah, the merino stuff. Like if it's not hot, it doesn't. Like if you sweat in it and then it you'll go from like 70 degrees to 45 on the coast and it's wet outside anyways, just like from being on the coast. Dude, it doesn't dry. And like the other day I got rained on and I took my jacket off. I have one of those sawtooths.
Yeah.
And I hung it up. Oh yeah, I hung it up in my house just like on my closet door and it was still wet when I put it on the next morning. But I put it on anyways because that's the one thing, it's still warm.
Yeah.
Like it's cold initially when you put it on, but it still insulates pretty well. I like their stuff.
Yeah,
I like the shirt that zips down below my belly button. That's my favorite shirt.
Chama?
No, it's like the super lightweight one. I don't remember what it's called. They don't make it anymore. Yeah. It's an old one.
Okay.
But it's super thin and it zips down below my belly button.
Nice.
So when you're packing it, you can, like even if you got a hoodie or like a zip down sweater and that thing on and you get hot, I just run both the zippers down and pull out on the middle of it and just let some airflow get in there. It's nice.
Yeah, I got full setup of that stuff, all in the fusion pattern. I really dig that camo pattern too. It's tough to see.
It looks pretty cool.
I lose track of people I'm hunting with. Like, oh shit, you moved! Holy crap! How long you been standing there?
Yeah,
a couple minutes. You know.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I break up a lot of things, so I have like mismatched camo and random things from like I don't know, Columbia or any.
And it, I don't know. I don't think it really matters.
Outdoor
what
research
you wear.
stuff.
I'm usually same thing about like if I bring a change of clothes and I'm like ASAT pants and First Light shirt and whatever.
Man, if ASAT made like higher quality hunting gear, I know at least like 15 people that would wear only ASAT.
I dig that camo pattern too.
Yeah, I've got one of the First Light raincoats in that ASAT pattern, and man, I love it.
I got their puffy coat in that.
Yeah, I look like a goofball. I for sure do. Like wearing the ASAT coat and the whatever. I have a bunch of like off-colored pants too. Like I got some gray pants and I wear a lot of solid color stuff too because stuff's comfortable. So you want to wear it all the time.
I know.
You look like a doofus rolling around town. I'm like just that guy. I don't really.
Who cares? I
don't think camouflage matters that much either. I think it looks cool, and if you're like in big open country, maybe it matters. But if you stay still and you get the wind right,
break the pattern up.
You can hunt.
Break your outline up.
Yeah, and you can hunt in a bright orange shirt with a bow, I think, and kill something. Wow. My buddy shot a bull 2 years ago in a highlighter yellow cutoff shirt because he was going poop when the bull came in, and all he had time to he took off his shirt probably because he was getting sweaty, and he only had enough time to get his pants up, basically get to his bow, and shoot this bull. So he shot it in pink Nikes and a highlighter, like bright yellow muscle shirt.
Nice.
So
yeah, I'm with you. I think as long as they're looking for something else. They're not looking for people.
Looking for elk.
They're looking for elk. So if you're not standing out in the wide ass open, if your outline's broken up behind you, a lot of people like to stand like behind trees. Stand in front of them.
Yeah.
Break your outline up. That's the biggest thing that people like. I gotta stay right behind this tree. Get right in front of it.
Same thing. And then you have a clear shot.
And then you have a clear shot.
Yeah.
Concept. But
yeah, but you gotta make sure you stay a little bit away. That way, when you execute that perfect release, you don't elbow the tree.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. I don't make perfect releases. I do when I practice, but anytime I shoot something, it's garbage. Yeah. I'm like, I have no clue where it went until I hear it crash. So it's like, oh, that's good. Where'd you shoot it at? I'm like, somewhere. I hit it.
I don't know. I couldn't see it.
I aimed my pin, but I don't remember much. That I blacked out. I don't know what happened after that.
I started shooting Luminox this year.
Yeah.
Love them.
Game changer,
man.
Nice.
It's like that spike I shot.
Yeah.
Didn't kick on. I couldn't see it.
Lame.
When he turned, I saw like where the hair had fluffed up.
I'm gonna have to start shooting those for film.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the other thing, like, I don't know. I'm sure there's an arguing point to it, but I don't know why you wouldn't shoot them.
Yeah. Just for some people, the weight.
It's a freaking laser beam.
Some people, they add 10 grains to their arrow and they don't like it on the back of their arrow or whatever. Some people are picky about it. I think if you're a guy that's on the border of spine issues, though, and you could add 10 grains to the back of your arrow, you're in luck.
Yeah.
Right with that. That's what I should do. Because I'm on the edge right now. I got some 80-pound limbs for my bow. I just want to try them. But I know if I run those, I'm going to have to get new...
If you buy the good ones that work every time.
Which ones did you buy?
The Nocturnals.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
I got some shit ones from some, like... Amazon company last year. There's on a special, right? And they're like half price. I'll try those. I had one left this year, and it failed on a bowl, so that was cool. When they work, man.
The Nocturnals are money.
They're awesome, and... I went to green this year. I'm going back to red next year. Red has been the most. I've tried red, blue, and green.
They got pink.
Ooh, that might be a non-bad.
And I run some pink fletches.
Nice.
And do it for the boobies. So I'm thinking about running the pink knock on there too. And guys hate on the pink until
green fades out, blue washes out instantly. Like you can't see blue at all.
Yeah.
Unless it's like dark.
Yeah.
Red stays.
Everybody shoots the red ones.
True. In almost all lighting conditions I've found. But man, you want to know where you hit something? Like, I fucked up. I hit him right in the front shoulder, or
the back shoulder.
Or I hit him good. I mean, the bull I killed in Wyoming. It's like as soon as I saw that thing light up, punch him right behind the shoulder. I was like, he dead?
Yeah,
he dead. That bull's dead.
No question.
High-fiving, hugging, jumping all around. And versus the bull that I shot in Oregon, I'm like, I looked back at my dad. And I'm like, you can hear me on the film. I'm like, did I hit him?
Yeah.
I wasn't even positive.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I hit him high.
Well, that's what happened with my bull this year. Like, I shot, and you hear that good, solid, like, crack, and I'm like, I think I smoked him. I'm like, I was holding that pin. He was, like, slightly quarter. I'm like, I was holding that pin just, like, 2 ribs back off that shoulder, like, perfect level to, and he was standing a little bit below me. Perfect level, like, clip a lung, top of heart, lung on the outside, like, money shot.
Yeah.
And I made a perfect shot, like, held that pin there, wasn't shaking bad, boom. And everything, and I look at my buddy, I'm like, did I miss? Like, what happened? What actually happened? Yeah. I don't know. So, what about Broadheads? What'd you shoot this year? Because they obviously worked.
Muzzy Trocars.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, 100 grain Muzzy Trocars.
Sweet.
I shot Muzzy 4 blades forever. I was getting a lot of deflection with those. That's kind of what I was finding.
A lot of guys love the Trocars, man.
Yeah, it put a good hole in that bowl. I got some deflection at my arrow. I mean, he was totally broadside, and my arrow came out substantially farther back on the opposite side. I don't know if I kicked off a rib when I went in there, but the entrance hole was the size of a golf ball. Yeah. It was massive. So
cool.
I don't know what happened on the internal.
You shoot like telephone pole arrows too, right?
Yeah.
FMJs?
Yeah. No, not FMJs. I'm just shooting the axis, but they're
the 300 spine axis.
300 spine axis.
So they're heavy.
Yeah, and they're long.
Yeah, what's your 31-inch trolling?
I'm a 31 with a half-inch loop. So
Jesus, that's retarded.
Yes, yeah, it's a stretch. But.
Yeah, believe it or not, my little ape self is a 29-inch draw.
Nice.
Yeah.
I used to shoot a 30 with my old bow forever and ever, and then I finally I bought this bow 2 years ago, and since then my shooting has drastically improved.
Yeah, I shot a 28.
Now that I'm in a bow that fits me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I shot a 28 forever, and then I went to look at a new bow, and I drew a 28, and I'm like, this is garbage. Put me at 28.5, and then I drew that, and I'm like, this is still garbage. Put me at 29, and it just like something about like dropping that elbow into place where it needs to be instead of having it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I hold so much better. Like that pin it doesn't shake nearly as bad as before. So,
yeah.
Anyways, well, if you got no more closing thoughts, no more. I sound like a
ain't got no more
back asswards freaking guy. If you don't have anything else to put in, man, I think we'll cut her off and.
Yeah, no, that's it. My advice to anyone who is kind of stagnant or looking to mix it up, I would say take the leap and try somewhere new that you want to go, whether that's in this state or out of the state. Take a leap. If you never hunted Eastern Oregon, pick a spot in Eastern Oregon, try it.
Just go there.
Go there.
And move as you need to, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to pay the money for Onyx maps or Go Hunt or whatever, look in the synopsis. There's you can get a fair bit of information from the synopsis. There's online websites, forums online. Mm-hmm. There's, Google Maps. You can do a ton of stuff with Google Maps. It's free. So
there's draw odds too on online.
Yeah. I mean, you can find
it's all
find
free,
stuff.
but I'm like, I buy the book every year.
It's harder to maybe get the information in a viewer friendly, like ease of navigating. I guess that's where like the Onyx and the Go Hunt,
they put everything you need in one spot.
Yeah, makes it nice. But take the leap, do it.
Yeah,
it's worth it. And if it sucks, it sucks. And then but you can't. If you're not having luck where you're going now and you've consistently not had luck there, then stop going there. Try somewhere new.
You can't kill
them from the couch, and you can't kill them from the pickup either. So,
you can.
Occasionally. You can.
Repetitively.
If you want to repetitively be successful, you got to get after it, and a lot of times you got to kind of mix it up. So, try somewhere new.
Yeah.
Be aggressive. Chase elk.
Well, if people want to find you, see all the cool stuff you do, see all the animals you kill.
Super new to the Instagram world, but I got my Instagram is Coops Outdoor Adventures.
Yeah.
I'm on there. I'm not super into it. I don't like over post things, or try not to anyway. But it's pretty much just kind of my hunting experiences and some photos, and I will.
You gonna make a elk hunting film with all this stuff?
No. We just got some cell phone film. I'll probably buy a camera this year for next year and kind of get a little more into the film and stuff. But I have no aspirations to like be a production business. Make a film. It's cool. It is cool to have the videos,
it's fun.
and show just even your buddies, like, this is what we did, so we got into this here. This is that bowl. We have some video clips, but nothing crazy. So but maybe down the road that'll come. Yeah, we'll see.
Just for me, it's just fun making the videos. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really care. Like 200 people have watched it, and for me, just like filming everything, putting the video together was super fun. Mm-hmm. Then I looked at it. I only looked at the views like once now, and it was a couple days ago because somebody asked. I was like, I don't even know. Yeah. Well, do you have any comments? I'm like, I don't know. Right. I don't know. I just made the film and I thought it was cool, so I put it up there. Like, if people like it, great. If not, great. There was one girl that told me she wished I would die, so that's pretty neat.
Antis, dude.
Yeah.
Got the antis everywhere.
Anyways. Well, Scott, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate taking your time.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me out to do it and actually coming over to my house to do it. That's cool.
It's only because I had to come up here for work, and you don't want to come to South County. You'll catch something.
Fact. Yeah, any other time, man, if you want to talk some more, we'll do it again, maybe next year or whenever.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's my story.
Thanks
for listening.
We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks for listening. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Like I said, Scott and I had a great time recording it, and I'm sure he'll be back on the show at a later date. Him and I have a hunt planned together in January, so you might get a rainy day podcast in the truck from that, or who knows what I'll do. More episodes coming at you weekly. Make sure you get entered in the hat giveaway. There's one that is going on Instagram only, and there's one that's going on GoWild only. Also, if you haven't checked out GoWild, you should definitely check out that app. If you're tired of your posts getting censored or people hating on you for being a hunter or fisherman or nobody giving you support, it's a totally supportive group of guys and girls on this website. They've done a great job setting it up. Brad Luttrell, he runs that. He's also got the Restless Native podcast. I think we're going to be doing something together later on in the winter months. So definitely check out GoWild. I've got a giveaway on my page on there. To find me there is Royce Chambers. And to find me on Instagram, RBC_hunts. Also, if you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to subscribe. It will tell you when new episodes are released, and you won't have to guess. That is, if you want to find out when. So guys, thanks again for listening, and until next week, it's the Bowhike Podcast. Bye.